go, like nature is one of the like quickest, fastest ways you can get me like refresh is nature, particularly on pretty day outside. If it's raining outside, I'm just gonna be dragging. But nature does it for me. Sometimes just a good old fashioned nap. Like if you ever take a nap on a Sunday, that's like the best nap.
And yeah,
But
yeah.
family, friends. Sometimes I go out of town to visit family, and that's the thing that my family is everything. They usually always do it.
That's amazing. Yeah, and a lot of times we take time away from our families, right? When we are so busy and so caught up in everything that we're doing. And so yeah, hanging out with your family, and for me it's either taking my dogs out for a walk or like also going in nature, right? I used to be a avid runner. I would go out to the Yorktown battlefield and I will run like without any timing. I was not trying to PR or anything. I just wanted to run. Like my husband will say, "You're like Forrest Gump. You just like felt like running and you just ran." I was like, "Yeah, it's the easiest and like the least stressful um time, when I'm running. Just like my mind clears up and like I just completely just run, right? So yeah, nature does it for me too. That's amazing. I'm glad to know that you're mindful of that and you are keeping that, in the back of your mind on spending time with your family and resetting.
Oh
All
yeah.
right. All right. Thank you, Dee. And I will challenge you. I will say I am very great at work life balance. I don't know what you're talking about. It is Saturday and we're having a podcast here and I'm doing amazing. All right. So thank you,
We
Dee.
all are. We
Yeah.
all are.
So I appreciate you doing that. So now I want to keep Dee on because I want to talk about this next segment, Sheena. Military families. Military families mean everything to us. We need to give them more support, but a lot of them are dealing with challenges with parents that are deployed or parents that are on assignment. So I want to learn more about this volunteer experience because it sounds like you've been volunteering your whole life, especially to causes, and I appreciate it. And that says a lot about you as a leader. Why did you get involved with Operation Teammate, and what is Operation Teammate?
Operation Teammate is a nonprofit for military children, and it provides them with community resources and memorable events with professional, collegiate, and amateur athletes. Uh, Specifically, we do like events for military children and other. This kind of gives them leadership and gets them involved um, because there's a pain point with military children who experience separation from their parents. We PCS a lot, so the children are constantly swapping schools, or they experience absences from their parents, one or both at the same time. And so this is a experience for which they can go and get leadership mentorship experiences with athletes.
So
Yeah, that's amazing. That military families, right? I always say it, they're the backbone of our service members. If the home front is not okay, if our kids, our families are not doing okay, the service member is not going to be 100%, right? And that's something that as leaders we really need to take that into consideration when we're leading. Something that was very important for me when I was in is I wanted to get to know my soldier. Like I wanted to get to know who they were outside of work hours, outside of the uniform, who was their family, what they were dealing with. Because then when things were going on, it was easier for me to be empathetic and kind of understand some of the challenges that may be facing. And I think the families appreciate that. They appreciate to be taken into consideration as part of the military as well, not just the family that the military didn't issue you, right? Like that's something that I heard in the past. People will say if the military wanted you to have a family, they would have issued you one, right? Well, guess what? That's changing, and I'm glad that there's so many people with organizations and advocates, right, that make sure that the family is at the forefront, right, and at the forefront of leaders who are taking that into consideration when they're leading the soldiers.
Well said, D. I concur with that. Earlier, you had mentioned, Sheena, how important it is to take care of your troops, especially when it comes to their families at home. If you're taking care of the troops at home, they're going to take care of you as a leader here. So I think for Operation Teammate, I've been doing some research on it. I think it's a great organization. We'd love to have their founder come on for next month for the month of the military child. Because military families matter. And I want to learn more about this organization. What are some of the current initiatives that Operation Teammate has right now, Sheena, that you want the audience here to know about?
So we have the month of the military child is coming up in April, and we have 4 events scheduled. One of them is actually happening today at Southern Miss. And then we have 2 events on April the 6th, University of Georgia, and the other one on the 6th was Kansas State. And then on the 13th is Michigan State. But we would love to get more teams involved and get more ambassadors, more people to volunteer, and get more families so we can help more families.
Why is it so important now to help out the military families? Like, why now? I'm curious to know from your perspective, why are you guys taking on this initiative? Is it because
I'm not sure what you're asking.
is
It's always
it
important.
because there's a gap that you guys are seeing? Do you feel that because there's a lot of nonprofits out there, right? But it sounds like Operation Teammate is focused more on mentorship, professional development, and leadership, right? And it sounds like from last week's conversation, our children need more leaders and mentors. So the question is that a gap that you guys are filling and you feel it's so important?
Certainly. I would say that Operation Teammate has actually been impacting children since 2015. And it was officially founded in 2016. So it's been ongoing for a while. But, military families in general and veterans and military, there's a ton of resources out there for us all. And the children, they just don't get as many resources. There are resources out there, other resources besides Operation Teammate as well. The founder, Timothy Montjoy, him and his daughter Bethany, they founded this together. She was real big into sports, and then he had gone on deployment. So this was a way they wished that they had had more opportunities available to her while he was deployed to help her in her pursuits, her interests. So this is a way to reach the children in areas, not just in sports, but that's our avenue that we go.
Yeah, no, I do agree. And so I'm not here to throw you off on the questioning. I just want to know, well, why do you guys exist? Because I think that it usually stems from a pain, especially from the founder that person has experienced. And it sounds like Timothy and his team, what he's gone through, and now he wants to make sure to fill that gap. Do you guys work with veterans as well, besides military family, besides active duty?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Any military family, no military family is going to get turned down. Namely because we've all been there, we've all experienced it. And the children, they matter whether or not the parents are deployed. We do like to specifically try to get those who are experiencing those absences signed up for events, but nobody's going to be turned away.
That's good because here in the Veterans Club, and if you guys are listening, we did put the link in for operationteammate.org. We will put it up again so you guys can go to it and check and find out some more information about it. I do want to bring up Lakeisha here, also a fellow female veteran. If she has any questions or comments about the military family or leadership, anything she wants to talk about when it comes to women and women's history.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Sheena, it's so great to connect with you. Just a fellow woman. We relate, just our experiences, even in military, even as a civilian, we have the same experiences. We want to connect together. We want to bring everyone together, to understand that, hey, women have value too. We can do the same job, achieve the same goals. So my question to you is, in this amazing experience, being a part of this organization, how are you able to level up and actually be seen, as a female doing the same job as a male as they do the same job?
Well, it's touch and go, because in a lot of ways I still feel unseen. But I have learned that if my service and my offering to participate, or my offering to give advice or help, if it goes unnoticed, then I tend to let it now. I used to try so hard to be like, no, there's a better way. After 25 years, I've seen it done 1,000 ways, and I have a better way. But if they don't want to listen, then I just let them not listen, because sometimes people just have to learn their way. But that being said, but being involved and doing the things, I've also learned that word gets out. My first sergeant's always coming to me, and he's like, oh, I had a unit come to me and tell me this, or somebody called one day and told me that you helped them do a thing. And like, he's like, I'm always hearing about you. So I'd say the people that at every Maddie matters, but professionally, the people that matter will know better.
Absolutely. I love that answer. Honestly, women, we prevail. It's Women's Month. We do get a month. But at the same time, we can do anything in any month, no matter what it is. So I appreciate your answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
100%. I just want to be clear. Women's history is American history here. We should definitely celebrate our women every single day. So I'm very grateful for you to that, Sheena. I do want to bring up Joe, if he has anything on military families or leadership. And I think you had something earlier. Joe, floor is yours.
Unmute. God, I feel like I'm a newbie here. Anyway, no, actually, I just want to touch a little bit. I just wanted to comment on Operation Teammate. I think it's absolutely brilliant. This actually kind of goes with last week's show when we had Michael on about the Military Basketball Association, and then even a couple other times. Was it a master sergeant major the week before who coaches kids as well? Coach. I just think, and then even some experiences for myself. Sports are super important in building like this team concept, but really I think it's more about teaching community again, and being able to take, especially our military children who have it really hard. Like I don't think people recognize that, because you could have someone who is in the military with a family, and those kids, if that service member does 20 years or even 10 years, it is likely that those kids will actually change schools 3 to 4 times. Like, that's hard to kind of maintain that community. So being able to kind of like go from place to place and recognize how sports communities are similar and having those people help them, I think is absolutely brilliant. And my question is, how many current relationships do you guys have built with sports teams, and how did you guys develop those as a strategy? And also, if anybody is interested in ambassadorships, could you touch on that a little bit?
Yes, I am going to divert the first part of that. I believe Tim is going to be in our after show, so he can probably answer that question for you. I don't know the how many's. But I can tell you that I am developing an ambassador program for us. And we already have 2 military ambassadors. So I have like a military ambassador, a civilian, like community ambassador. And I'm working on a student maybe student athlete ambassadorship, to where children can get involved as well. Like a lot of high schoolers, that they need volunteer service hours, and this is a way that they can participate in their schools, is to educate and get stories and find out who the military children are within their schools, so that they can start to foster a community environment from within the school. And then athletes who want to maybe I have a cousin who's about to start college, and he's going to play football. So he specifically really wants to help out. And so he's going to go off to college, and he's going to educate the athletic directors or the sporting, the teams or whatever. He wants to let people know about Operation Teammate. He's really excited because he himself is a military child, fixing to graduate high school. So trying to figure that out, but it's all sort of a work in progress. But I do have an email if anybody's interested, or they can go to our website, and there is a link that they can click to opt to volunteer if they are interested.
All right, thanks, Joe. We really appreciate it. So for this last segment, I'd love to have all of our female leaders here on for any comments or questions, so we can wrap this up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shena, for sharing your background, how you came into the military, and how you continue to serve, right, in uniform and out of the uniform. I think that's incredibly important, because as women, we have to sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes we have to try 10 times harder, right? 10 times harder, or at least in some cases we feel
It definitely feels like it sometimes, for sure.
Yeah, right. Like it feels like it, and that may be something that, like, sometimes it may be self-imposed, but I'm just so glad to have such a powerhouse like yourself, and in this space, and really just taking an initiative to make an impact and leave a legacy within our community with military kids and military families.
Thank you.
Lakeisha?
Yes, it's so important for us to do exactly what Dee said. We want to leave a legacy. When we, transition, we want to make sure to leave a mark that they can pick up and they can continue on. So it's important for us to create, an environment for them to be able to excel and achieve the same goals in their perspective, and actually for them to up level and to bring others with them. And I'm loving how we're able to do that. And definitely with Operation Teammate, is able to achieve that goal. So I love that we're able to group together and make sure that continues to happen. So I really appreciate you, Shena, and everything that you're doing. We're working out as a team, women team.
Thank you, Lakeisha and Dee. Y'all both inspire me.
Thank you. And speaking of team, I am going to bring up our brothers into this set, because we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be collaborating and giving this voice to women and men if it wasn't for the entire crew here. I know it is Women's Month, and I do appreciate that Jeff and Joe really, are giving us a stage. But quite honestly, this is a team effort. This is not women or men, right? We have been fighting for equality rights and to be seen the same and equal and all of those things, right? So we want to highlight Women's Month and the accomplishments that we've done, but we want to do it side by side with our brothers as well.
I wanted to say, like, men and women, technically, if you think about it, we are the ultimate collaborative team, right? If it wasn't for us to figure out a way to work together, we would not have advanced as a society, because we wouldn't have had other generations. So, like, I love when we are able to work together like this. And honestly, I think there's like a misconception about men and women working together until you actually work together. Right. Once you start working together, you find where you're supposed to be. And I think that's beautiful as we grow. and I love seeing that the military is evolving that way, and we're learning that. Like, you know, maybe in 50 years we'll be like on Starship Troopers, where like literally everybody showers together, we all sleep together. It's like no big deal.
I don't know about all of
How
that.
about that, Joe? Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Oh dear.
I think that we'll just keep our fruity scents, body
Yeah.
washes to ourselves.
Yeah,
You guys
Right?
go ahead,
Yeah.
the Old
yeah.
Spice smell somewhere else.
Oh man. Hopefully there's some crayons on that shit too, bro. So, just saying. Hopefully we got some of that. So Sheena, for the audience here, for our female future leaders who, the youth, those that want to think about joining the service, or those that are in a hard place right now, what would you say to them?
I would say everything in life has a lesson, a something that can be learned, right? And then one of the pieces of advice that I give to my students all the time is help is coming. There's a whole article associated with three mice. I'm not going to go into it, but help is always coming.
Powerful.
Amen.
That's powerful
I
words.
love that.
Amen.
I
Really
love
love that,
that.
Absolutely.
Sheena. And we do have some amazing guests coming up that are going to be involved in the youth. And please stick around, because it's going to be powerful. It's going to be magnificent. It's going to inspire a lot of us to do better. And I'm so excited. I'm so inspired by the youth, and I'm so inspired by you, Sheena. I really appreciate you serving 24 years. Like, I'm a quarter lifer. I only did 5, right? But I feel like I've done 20, right? Especially since I'm around the military all the time. But I'm so thankful for you to continuing wearing the uniform, and bringing on and inspiring the future leaders that our nation needs here. So thank you. We really hope that some of you join us for the after show here, where you can meet Sheena and meet all of our amazing leaders that you see on here. This is also the future of America here. These are the people that are going to be leading in your communities. Please follow them. Please engage with them. I want to thank you all again. Really appreciate this opportunity, for you guys listening to us, listening to what we're doing. It is no easy task. We are here to give a voice to our veterans, and including those who serve, to focus on those same 3 goals that we keep hitting on: end veteran homelessness, end veteran suicide, empower veteran-owned businesses, and build community and leadership development. If you want to support the Veterans Club, some of you have reached out to me, you want to get involved. We really would love to have you. If you want to, bring us onto your organization, or you want to learn more about how you can support us, scan this little QR code you see here on the top. So that way you can become a guest, or you can learn more about supporting us. And if you're tuning in just from audio, or you're going to listen to us, we do have a link, and we will share it where you can support us. We do have some amazing guests coming up. But I will say, with these final thoughts, that if it wasn't for my mom, I would not be here today. If it wasn't for the women side by side in the Veterans Club, I would not be better today. So I'm so thankful, right back at Dee and Lakeisha and Kat, for your leadership. Joe and I are inspired, and we look forward to continuing the mission. God bless you. God bless America. And we'll talk to you during the after show. Veterans Club, signing out.